one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
This is Discover Crypto, and we have a major show for you today. We got to talk about the latest BlackRock move. They are launching the ETH staking ETF today. And so we're going to look at the ETH charts. We're going to look at the Bitcoin charts. We're going to look at the oil charts. And we're going to look at maybe some Cardano news that's going to blow you away. But first, we got to get into the price action because, Drew, we predicted this. I'm about to show you something. We talked about a area of resistance for Bitcoin. And it's this chart right here. And we're just tracking the top. So I don't know if you remember, I was calling out the dates. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I was literally dancing with the song.
Yeah, I see you doing that, but in the backstage, I'm just like, is this real? Is this
I pulled the Tom Cruise. I jumped on the couch and I got a lot more winded than I was expecting. So if you see me gasping for breath, that is why, folks. But you can see Bitcoin hit a top here, hit some resistance, hit some resistance. And then yesterday, we drew the line out. We said, hey, guys, this is just a potential area of resistance. It looks like Bitcoin's having difficulty passing this range. And if you draw this out, folks, look at that, everybody. So Bitcoin coming exactly to this range, exactly to this resistance. We're not Nostradamus. It was just pretty obvious. If you zoom out a little bit, you can see Bitcoin clearly having some issues clearing this level. But Drew, right now, it is coming up to a symmetrical triangle. Bitcoin's going to make a move pretty soon. What do you got, Drew? Up or down? Where are we heading?
Oh, boy. I mean, for my TA section, I got some kind of scary stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got some kind of scary stuff I'm looking at. And really, we have the Federal Reserve FOMC meeting for the U.S. on the 18th, but also the Bank of Japan on the 18th. There's a lot of Forex pressure coming up from what's happening with oil. We opened up oil markets today. We're back over 100. This is not good in terms of foreign exchange rates.
Yeah, we're going to look at the oil options.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the liquid natural gas options. We're going to look at the oil price. I found something pretty remarkable as well. This is August 08. We're going to draw this out and give you another potential top for oil. Keep an eye out on that. Let's look at the, everybody, if you could go ahead and smash the like button, everybody. Hit the likes. Thank you, Jay Miz. Saw a couple people in here hitting the post there. Yeah, if you could hit the like button, that's going to be appreciated here. One House Productions, we definitely appreciate it. So good morning, Disco fam, on this wonderful Thursday. So let's get into the crypto news. Let's look at the rest of the market here. We're going to hit refresh, make sure we got that fresh data. Bitcoin is down 1%. ETH is pretty flat. Expect some major moves with ETH, with this BlackRock ETF. We're going to talk about that in a second. XRP is down 1%. We have Dogecoin, a little bit of a pump there. Cardano down 1.4%. The whales have been reducing, and hype continuing to do well. We're bull posting hype, talking about hype, and we're going to look at the hype chart and the Tau chart a little bit later. And give me your AI choices. What should we look at? I want to look at one more AI altcoin, maybe Pippin. Maybe there's something else. I don't know if you have any favorite AI coins, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, Tau is definitely on the top of my list. And I was just, the more and more that this AI economy rolls out, the more we can conceptualize what AI agents actually mean in terms of, what crypto is going to have a part in. I feel like we need to take the AI sector more and more seriously. There's a lot of, kind of gone and, gone forever AI projects that have come and gone, but I am starting to think a lot heavier about the AI agent sector and which product, because all we need is to hit a few of them that AI agents like, 2 or 3 years from now to really make some stupid amount of money. So I'm taking Tau seriously, but the subnets within Tau are another sector I feel like looking at later on today. Ridge, I think it's Ridges was the last one I was looking at. I want to check it on that chart. But yeah, I mean, we got to take this stuff seriously. Virtuals is another good one.
Take it serious, folks. Drew's and my prediction here, either going to get paid by the robots in their currency, or you invest in their currency early so you can then get your own fleet of robots.
Right. Exactly.
It's a A or B choice here. It's very binary. We're getting now midnight down Binance listing. We told you it was going to dump. We saw the breaking news. What did we say? Yeah, it's going to dump because it got listed on Binance. That is a classic story. So if you have an altcoin and is about to get listed on Binance, expect that thing to drop. But look at the last hour. This is pumping right now. It's got a 3% pump, probably the biggest gainer for the past hour. Let me go ahead and check here. Midnight, now up to 4%. So night is pumping. Let's actually check in on the night chart. We're actually going to talk about USDCX for a little bit as well. We got some stablecoin news. We're just going to go to Binance Perpetuals. Let's go to the 10-minute. Yeah, night starting to break out there. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. So night getting a little bit of a pump. Is this the bottom?
Well,
No, we got a little bit of a trend line if you connect the bottoms here. So coming up to a nice little area of support. And we might have to do some new fib sequences. We're going to look at some fibs on Tau. Found something pretty interesting there as well.
That night level it's at right now was super important to us for the last few weeks to come back down to. And this was the general kind of support spot that me and you were looking at. Now we've come back down to it. We'll see if it can defend itself now that it's been released on Binance and the insiders are having their way with it, right? But I mean, it's come down to a support. This is kind of a pooper scoot type moment for midnight. If it can hold over 4 cents, I think it's got a nice future ahead of it. If you notice, the other big mover there is Monero. The privacy sector hasn't given up much ground with the major pullback in altcoin sectors across the board. So these privacy tokens, and Canton is in that network, but on an institutional level, they haven't given up nearly as much ground as a bunch of these layer one projects.
You ready for a Monero conspiracy?
Let's go. I love it.
Monero conspiracy. So there's one tier one exchange that still lists Monero. This tier one exchange, it's an American exchange, just got approval for the FedNow wire, and they also got approved for additional actions with the New York Stock Exchange, or maybe it was the NASDAQ, teaming up with traditional FI, getting all the licenses, getting signed off by all the regulators. Monero is traded on Kraken. And so now there's reports Kraken is getting the regulatory green light so they could spy on Monero holders.
Oh, fun. Yeah, this is the regulatory adoption I always dreamed of. This is really big.
It's looking good on the parallel range, though. I mean, Monero is testing the bottom of this range. So you see here, Monero probably going to continue to pump, folks. Show me the chart. I'll show you the news. But let's talk about the news here. Breaking news, BlackRock staked ETH ETF is launching today on NASDAQ. This is massive stuff, folks, and they're making it very attractive by waiving fees. So they're expanding their crypto investment lineup with this new NASDAQ-listed product tied to Ethereum staking. It's called the iShares Staked ETH Trust ETF, or ETH-B. They have ETH-A, and this is going to be ETH-B. They have two other ETFs here, or ETPs, iShares Bitcoin Trust, IBIT, and then the regular ETH-A. Both ETPs are the largest in their class. Bitcoin's worth $55 billion. Their ETH-A ETF here is $6.5 billion in assets under management. So very, very large fees. And at launch, they're going to have a 0.25% sponsor fee with a 1-year waiver, and they're reducing the fee in half on the first $2.5 billion in assets under management. So you can see here, they're expecting a lot of flows, because this one only has 6.5. Giving this deal to anybody who comes in for the first 2.5, Drew, I'll go to make a prediction. I think ETH-B eclipses ETH-A within 6 months, but it's going to take a while. If you're a big institution, you're not just going to call up the guy and switch it over. There's going to be meetings after meetings. There's going to be 13F filings. There's going to be paperwork. There's going to get the lawyers involved. You're getting the accountants involved. So I'm going to say within 6 months, ETH-B larger than ETH-A.
Okay. Yeah, and I remember, I've known that this staked ETH ETF through BlackRock was coming for a really long time. I was talking to a fellow that actually used to be the vice president of BlackRock's crypto investment side about a year and a half ago. And he gave me the heads up that this is coming. Now, the excitement at the time of the outlook of the Ethereum ETF was way bigger back then than it is now, in terms of, the price is the best advertiser, right? And ETH is down to $3,000 or $2,000. So, this is a tough call to see if there's going to be massive FOMO into this right off the gates. We're probably still going to have to wait for, regulators to come out and tell these major institutional buyers that yes, the door is open. This staked ETF is good to go. You're going to be safe and sound. But it is pretty ballsy for BlackRock to be rolling this out ahead of those decisions being made. I will say that. So they're putting their neck out there to allow this for investors to get into before the path has been cleared, before basic staking mechanisms to be released.
Yeah, and just to back it up for a little bit, if you don't know, Ethereum, number 2 cryptocurrency, smart contract platform. Hopefully you do know what that means. And within this, you can stake your ETH. And I'm not saying kill a vampire with a wooden shard. We're talking about you could validate transactions on the network. You put it up for staking, and within that, you're going to get paid back in ETH. Roughly, I want to say it's 4.1%. It's always fluctuating. Activity. There's going to be a lot of moving parts with that. And then so BlackRock's going to, they did amend it, Drew. They're going to take, I believe, 18% of the rewards and then give you the 90 or 82% that's remaining. And so it should be a pretty good, attractive investment. Let's talk about the ETH chart, though. We talked about this little liquidity zone before. You see it's right here. I meant to get it to the top. So yeah, you can see we're hitting the top of the wick here, channeling in here, kind of just stuck in this range. Keep drawing it out. Folks, we're only in February 16th. Now we're February 21. That takes us to this period right here. This is February 25th. Look at this, Drew. Keep going. Also got rejected in this little pocket. Flipped it into support, knocked against it, could not break through. Consolidated, went back up, turned it into support. Could not hold as support. Bounced around in the bottom of this range. Boom, lost support, fell down. Rejection. Right. Takes us to where we're at right now. Another rejection. So this is the area I'm looking at when it comes to ETH. I would wait to flip bullish until we could use this as support. And you might even want some more confirmation because, again, these are only 1 hour candles. You go the 4 hour. I mean, that's a little, you can see that's a doji reversal candle, another doji reversal candle. Not quite a topping tail on this one. They're the bearish signs are there. I'm waiting until I see a little bit more positivity. And if we do break down, we did give you the levels there that we're going to be looking at. It's just kind of checking the range right there and catching the bottoms right here as well. So right now, ETH stuck in this ever narrowing range, though. So we are getting to an inflection point. ETH has to make a decision. Can Wall Street pump this altcoin, Drew?
Oh, gosh. I mean, when they're ready to, I think so.
Are they ready to?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? So you think they want to accumulate?
Well, yeah, there's going to be underside accumulation. I think that, what's happening with the Clarity Act is, yeah, and I think TJ had a good point that yesterday TJ was talking about, it's not that banks think that they can kill DeFi. We were talking about this in our morning meeting. This product is already out there. So investors can already go find it. But what they are doing is delaying the Clarity Act moving forward and opening the door to all the awesome things that DeFi can provide. And I really don't think that we're going to see a massive influx until the stamp from the Clarity Act has come. I just don't want any ground to be given up from, the likes of crypto, what Coinbase is trying to stand up with, allowing DeFi to just run rampant. I think it absolutely should. And I think that banks should have competition. So that being said, I think we're going to see a massive inflow after that regulatory clarity comes through, but it's not going to be all ships rising with the tide. Initially, we'll have some even deadlier ones pump, but I think that the main action is going to come to Ethereum. That's how I feel.
All right. Now, looking at the ETH chart, kind of zooming in. Now, we did not pull this level earlier. This was, I pulled it an hour and a half ago. So this is well before this range. These are 5-minute candles, 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, you can see a half hour ago, hit that range and then rejected cleanly. So keep an eye out on that. We are in a short at the moment, still in a ZK short. So maybe this one will continue to keep on dumping and then the profits will start pumping everybody. Now, let's talk about altcoins a little bit before we talk about Bitcoin here. First golden cross in 2+ years. We're talking about the monthly MACD bullish cross. Last time it happened, alts rallied 3-4 months. And he's looking at this range right here, the tail end of 2023. I pulled up the chart right here. This is the MACD tail end of 2023. He's talking about the two convergence lines here. Boom, we're getting a bullish crossover. We've seen 2 of these in recent memory. We're going to talk about this one right here. And the real cross is going to be right there, right there. I'm trying to stretch that right there. So we're going to talk about that range as well. Let's go straight up the Strait of Hormuz. Let's go straight up the Strait of Hormuz here. Stretch that out. We got a very good, wick there. Did pull back a little bit. Open here. Let me go back on regular. I'm not. There we go. There we go. Now you can see a little bit better. Pump 1 month, 2 month. Kind of topped out after 2 months, though. Now they're going to say, 4 or 5 months even. I think, what did the post say? 3, 4 months. All right. So this one more like really 1 month. Within the next month, it found a top and then just in a range for 3, 4 months. All right. Go to the next one. It's going to be right here. This one did give us 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 months, 6 months of pumps for altcoins. Then we got a 2 month correction. And then alts went on another rally. This is going to be the tail end of 2021. So now we're talking about the bull market of 2021. Now we're starting to see similar signs, Drew. And if you look, this cross is much more akin to this rather than this. This was the better pump. So alts are starting to look juicy on the monthly time frame.
They are. And, even yesterday, ICP was able to put up a 10% day. The difference that I'm thinking about as I'm looking at this is there is way more altcoins now than there were back in 2020, right? So these layer ones had way less dilution, way less competition going on. And the more recent MACD cross to the upside, that was 2024. And that was when I was able to make 10X's easy on, a bunch of different altcoins. Like ICP at the time ran up to $18. Yesterday, it had a 10% pump and hit $2.70, right? So there's been a massive dilution. And really, it doesn't take much to move the boat of altcoins. So I wouldn't be surprised to see kind of a short-term pump, something maybe close to what we saw in March of 2024. But it's a good time to this is where you have to go into Artemis crypto, you have to go into DeFi Llama, and you have to see if the project is actually still producing revenue and if it's relevant still, because there's been a lot that's changed over the course of each cycle. It's a very competitive field. So
and speaking of boats, we got expat here. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. We are going to talk about what's floating and sinking across the globe. There are new developments this morning.
I was thinking, why don't they just maybe tokenize oil in the Middle East and then we can transport it across a permissionless financial rail? And then we could just avoid the Strait of Hormuz altogether. We could just completely circumvent the whole situation. Put oil on the
your jet, your tank, your car. It won't need oil. You just put in an Ethernet cord.
Yeah.
Right. And it runs on the RWA tokens.
Yeah. It's kind of like the metaverse idea, but we can make it real this time. We can actually pull it off, you guys.
Yeah. It's just like a Fortnite chug jug, but it's a barrel of oil instead. Right, that's how it works. You put on your meta glasses, and then your tank is full, and your B2. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin production cost equals buying opportunity. Just keep an eye out on this. A lot of movement with energy prices, and I expect this graphic to change. I do believe Iran has curtailed some of the Bitcoin mining. There was a lot of Bitcoin being mined in Iran. And so now really the average cost of production probably going to go up a decent amount because that's very, very low electricity over there. Now we do have Arthur Hayes point some out on Bitcoin as well. Pretty interesting. Since the start of the U.S.-Iran war, February 28th, Bitcoin up 7%. Gold down 2%. Relative to similar type large risky assets, Bitcoin did the best when viewed against oil and gas energy price spikes. So higher energy, maybe the smart money is saying, okay, well, now that the average cost of energy is going up, the average mining cost or production cost of Bitcoin's about to go up. Maybe this is a nice little boom for the bulls here. Maybe something to think about when you just think about the second and third order effects.
Yeah, absolutely. That's some good insight. And I'm loving going through the chat here. A comment about ICP. So ICP didn't go to $18 in 2024. Do you remember 2024? You were here during 2024. This is ICP in 2024. It went to $20. It actually went to $20.70, right? So this is where I don't know if it's, basic, just war torn destruction of what's happened to altcoins, but this is ICP since then. You know what I mean? So
Have you ever seen ICP? Chad, has anyone seen the band ICP?
I've never. I did like Fago though.
I was a bouncer in my younger age. You know, probably couldn't do it these days, but I remember an adjacent building had an ICP concert, and when the crowd let out, I won't. Maybe I shouldn't get into it. I won't get into it. If you want me to get into it, maybe type in ICP. Maybe I'll do it at the end of the show. But it was an experience. Thank you for sticking through, expat. I love Fortnite. Build or no build? That is the question. I'm an old head, man. I got to go no build. I can't crank 90s like I used to 9 years ago. But let's talk about Bitcoin a little bit more. Then we're going to talk about what's happening in the Middle East. Strategies. STRC buys an additional 7,000 Bitcoin this week. Now, let's just kind of go over the facts. We'll maybe stay away from some of the opinions here. 7,000 Bitcoin are estimated to have been purchased this week through Strategies Perpetual Preferred Stock Stretch, underscoring how quickly the high-yield instrument has become a key engine behind the company's Bitcoin accumulation. They have 4 different stock offerings. This is probably their second most popular. And as far as seniority, this is also number 2. STRF is above. So if there ever is a liquidation, a bankruptcy, the lenders will get paid first. STRF will get paid second. STRC gets paid third. And then it'll be the other preferred shares. Then it'll be the common stockholders there. So this is their 11.5 yield instrument. So, right, what do you know? It currently yields 11.5% and pays monthly cash distributions. A lot of yield pays quarterly. This one pays every single month. Guess what, folks? It's tomorrow. We're going to look at the price action. Now, Strategy has been described the instrument as resembling a short duration, high yield savings instrument with the dividend rate adjusted to keep the shares trading near $100 par value while limiting price volatility. So if it goes up to $1.05, they'll issue more shares to push that price down to $100. If it falls down to $95, they will up the yield. They can do this once a month. So then they'll hopefully attract more buyers. Like, we don't want to buy it at 9%. They could go up 0.25. How about 9.25%? How about 9.5%? How about now 11.5%? And then that got it back up to 100. Now, the structures help accelerate Strategies Bitcoin purchases. Market estimates suggest they bought more than 11,000 Bitcoin over the past 2 weeks, bringing total accumulation 34,000 Bitcoin since it went live. Now, it has on several occasions traded below 100, prompting the company to raise the dividend to help push the shares back towards par, back towards 100. Let's look at the charts here. Me and Drew were talking about this. Actually, me and TJ were arguing about this yesterday. I'm just kidding. Now, we got a heated debate. Drew, you witness it. You know, we just had strong opinions about this instrument.
Well, I mean, it's something worth really digesting. And what I feel like is Wall Street is watching how these products perform very, very closely, right? This is kind of like a test bed for Wall Street in Bitcoin-backed loans and plays. So there's some interesting data on this chart. And honestly, we could probably use this to make some pretty good money if it keeps.
Let's talk about how to make money. I'm great point there. Let's talk about how do we look at this and make money? And right, you could buy it. Maybe it stays at 100, maybe get, $111 if you sell it a year later, maybe, But on the bottom, you're going to see some D's. Type in D for DZ and D for dividend. Can I get some D's in the chat here? D's in the chat. D's in the chat. D stands for dividend, and the dividend payment, like I said, once a month. They pay out, it's 11.5% every year. Basically 1% a month, basically, right? You got $100. Every month you get $1. Look what happens when they pay the dollar. Dividend payment, price fell. Dividend payment, price fell. You zoom into like the 30-minute, you can see like when they get paid, they dump the share. Dividend payment, price fell. Dividend payment, price really fell. Dividend payment, price fell. Dividend payment, price fell. Quickly recovered that time, then would later fall. Dividend payment, price fell. Chat, we got a dividend payment tomorrow. There is a dividend payment tomorrow, coming tomorrow morning. I'm not a buyer at 100, but I don't hate. I don't like holding this for a year to get 11%. But I tell you what, I do not hate maybe buying it for one day for like a 5% return. So you can hold it for a year, get 11%. There might be opportunities where you hold it for a day or two and you get 4 or 5%. That to me is that to me is the opportunity with STRC.
Well, and that's what came to my mind was like, you could bottom blast this and, outperform a lot of people that are, getting that 1% a year or a month if you just end up using this trend line. And I want to see the trend line get lesser and lesser as the value increases. So that's something that I'm going to be paying attention now that we've kind of paid it, dissected this and when the dividends come out. But if that, wash out to the downside gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and the investments into it continue to grow and it starts to stabilize, then that might be something, real long term.
Maybe, but I mean, it's weaker and weaker, but I mean, it is weaker than it grew larger.
Right. What is that?
And then got weaker, then grew large again, but smaller than this one. And yeah, relative. I'll tell you what, it comes down to 96, 95. I'm looking at it pretty credibly here for a quick play.
What's the date on that massive pullback on the big one? What's that date?
November 20th. And then we have
20th,
February 5th. You might be wondering if it's October 6th related. It's not. It's not. There's nothing for October 6th, actually. So a little blip right there. So this is smart investors. They're not getting shaken out by, illiquid altcoins getting liquidated on Binance. We do have a question, super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Devin Bowerman. His ancestors were really good with the bow and arrow there. Bitcoin to 74 or 64 first. I had to pull up the chart here. This is a bear flag. This is a bear flag, but I think we can pass this high. I still think we're going to go to 80 to get all the bulls excited, and then the bear flag maybe plays out partially. I don't know if it'll play out completely into the 40s, but I mean, that's definitely a bear flag. This is a long-term bearish chart pattern. We do have some pretty decent short-term bullish price action here, kind of trading around in this range. As of now, though, I'm leaning 75 or 74 before 64. Drew, what do you think? Chat, what do you think? 74, 64?
Yeah, I went over this on the video last night, and I feel pretty damn strong about my thesis on where Bitcoin's going to go, comparing it to kind of the summer. Someone actually in the chat brought this up and is agreeing with me a few days ago. But, I really feel like a run up to, low 80s or high 70s is kind of cooked in the cards. I really feel like Bitcoin has been bouncing around against all the things going on in the world right now. You got to give it to Bitcoin for holding this range. I think 74 is more likely. And in my TA section, later on in the show, I'll compare where we are right now to that mid 2022 moment where we had FTX, Celsius, all the craziness. And, the structure of the candle is the same. The sentiment is hitting the same levels. And the price to produce really in a very comparable situation right now. So I have a lot of confluence going into this thesis and pretty excited to go over it. I know the washout, the fear is there. So people really, maybe I didn't explain it the right way. So I'm going to go over it later on in the show and kind of show what I'm looking at, because I really think that we are painting a larger picture of a bottom right now.
All right. Now we do got a super chat. Good luck with the hangnail. Not to put that in everyone's visualization cortex there, but I'm hanging on you guys to smash that like button. All right. And I will nail you against the wall. Phrasing if you do not. Now let's talk about Ben McKenzie. We're about to show the most anti-crypto movie trailer that we're probably going to see for a long time, probably the worst that we're going to see, at least until this point. So Ben McKenzie, he's known for Gotham and the OC. That's not what he looks like. Ben McKenzie has released a trailer. There he goes right there. That's him. He's looking like an altcoin buyer. Ben McKenzie, he's released a trailer for a documentary about cryptocurrency featuring interviews with actors, is really what we need, and former executives at once prominent trading platforms. It's titled, Everyone is Lying to You for Money. And it shows him saying things like cryptocurrency is pretty stupid. We've talked about this guy for years. I don't know why he pops up like some weird Groundhog Day entity to FUD Bitcoin. He comes out. He needs to just get stuck in a time loop like Bill Murray. Now, also has interviews with celebrities, including Gerard Butler. I'm so glad we have washed up action stars who can't prevent themselves from getting fat. You can't put the fork down. You're getting paid $20 million if you just have abs, and he can't even do it. So, yeah, Gerard Butler, that's really whose opinion we need here. Drew, should we just play it?
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's going to give us a copyright? Will we get taken off the internet for playing it, do you think?
No, because it's a movie trailer. It's
Okay.
essentially an advertisement. And I
Okay.
tell you what we can do. We can maybe pause it here and there. So this is Ben McKenzie's
Yeah, I feel like I'm
Bitcoin.
at the gas station in the middle of nowhere in Georgia right now looking at that guy. He looks like rough.
Well, first, hey, I don't know what any of this is. I've never heard of the Doc NYC. I guess I've heard of South by Southwest, but not London. Oh, it's a selection. Is it a winner? No. Oh, it's a select, not a winner. Not a winner. Okay, none of these are winning. It didn't win any award. It's just, hey, they're able to play it there. Okay, cool. Here we go.
Oh, we don't have sound on it. We don't have sound. That's probably for the better. So he's looking at the bull. What?
Still no sound, right?
Yeah, there's no sound.
All right, yeah. This is about to get real interesting here. I'm
scared. I'm scared.
Are you excited yet? Are you excited? This ought to be good. Hold on, let me get with the audio. There's a special way.
And I while we're on the subject of movies, I really recommend the movie Eddington. I liked the movie Eddington a lot. Checked it out this last weekend.
That's Ed McKenzie from the OC.
He's been a critic of the cryptocurrency industry.
To understand my journey into cryptocurrency, we have to go back.
He gets all serious at the congressional hearing. Again, this guy was invited to a congressional hearing. Why?
It's taken off.
Propaganda.
It's money.
It's cryptocurrency.
Stop saying cryptocurrency. I don't know what the that means.
Wait, what does this look?
I love a documentary made by someone who's like, I don't even know what it means. Oh, it's going to be his journey as he discovers what it means. Oh, okay.
I have a degree in economics. Surely I can figure out this crypto stuff.
No banks, no fees.
Electronic gold.
Good time with your Bitcoin and take all your money and buy Bitcoin.
I had a few questions.
I had to close my laptop in disgust after I saw that.
Up against a multi-trillion-dollar industry shilled by every celebrity on the planet, I hired a film crew.
Yeah. Did you talk to my agent yet?
The building Bitcoin City.
Naive Bukele.
Looks like a normal web of trust.
They can make the price go whatever
Hey, his voice is hidden, obscured. That means it's scary.
they want.
What do you say to the people who have been scammed?
I was crying. My wife was upset.
Shady dudes end up making most of the money.
How much have you donated to politicians?
Investors, do you have anything to say?
The cryptocurrency industry represents the largest Ponzi scheme in history. Hundreds of millions of people worldwide have been lied to.
So there you go. That's pretty much the gist right there. I love how he just focuses on the scammers, focuses on the negative, kind of ignores anything that could be positive. It's like making a food documentary, but you only go to restaurants that fail the health score and you interview women who have poisoned their ex-husbands.
He sounds like an idiot that bought the top, and now he's like some past scorned lover that's got a chip on his shoulder to prove a point. This happens all the time where a celebrity will have someone tap him on the shoulder. You remember the NFT craze with all the celebrities that got tapped on the shoulders by their insider crews. Hey, man, go buy this thing. It's going to be great. Losing millions of dollars, and then they hate it forever. They call it a scam. And then to highlight El Salvador and Nayib Bukele in this situation, it's like the fiat value cratering, a country layers into Bitcoin and increases its holdings and its value exponentially, and that's a scam, right? You're going to use Nayib Bukele's face. Absolutely insane. So it's not to say that there's not bad actors in crypto, and I spend a lot of my time calling them out and going after them. Doesn't do me much good because no one listens, and they go get wrecked on meme coins anyways without even listening to what I say. It doesn't matter. But there's a time to buy, and it's at low prices on good projects. There's a time to sell it high, and you kind of rinse and repeat the process. You know what I mean? If you stay focused for a long time, things can be very, very good in crypto. But you have to use discipline, and you have to know when to sell. So
yeah, his wife is in Homeland. Homeland, pretty good show. I would recommend checking that one out there. Now, talking about ETH, you said ETH is pumping. ETH started dumping. Look at this, folks. We got ETH taking a dump right here. Now, it did have a nice little move into the channel, but now getting rejected with a nice clean wick here. to wreck everybody. And we do talk about topping tails. I don't know if this is going to be 75% of the candle length. We do want topping tails to be 75. Nah, not quite. It's maybe more about 40%, 35%. So not quite a topping tail, but we are starting to see some bearishness here. But a little bit more on, the Bitcoin thing. Last Bitcoin thing. Oh, wait a minute. That takes me from being featured in the documentary to asking a denial for his guilty plea. He got rejected. He requested a new criminal trial. The judge said he failed to meet legal standard for a retrial. Prosecutor said his claim that new witnesses could undermine the government's case doesn't meet the legal standard, because really it's not new witnesses. It's testimony centered by Bankman-Fried from former executives Ryan Salome and Daniel Chapsky did not amount to newly discovered evidence. They're both known to the defense before the 2023 trial. Now, the pardon speculation running alongside the court challenges, they've unfolded alongside public speculation. He's seeking a Trump pardon. Now, on February 1st, he praised Trump's crypto stance in social media posts. What did Trump say? Speculation has gone nowhere publicly. Trump reportedly told the New York Times he had no intention of pardoning Bankman-Fried, leaving appeal and retrial motion as his main avenues for overturning his conviction. So the Trump playbook probably not going to work. Let's talk about AI. We're going to look at Tau. We're going to look at Pippin here. AI. Look at these two jobs. This is Oracle and what are we looking at? Amazon, I believe, is after this. Oracle confirmed cutting 20 to 30,000 jobs. Sources inside saying, no, it's actually closer to 45. One source said a team of database assistants or analysts in Austin got replaced by 3 senior architects. So 47 people got replaced by 3 people plus automated Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Management. So 47 replaced by 3 plus an AI tool. Apparently, new AI workflow can generate custom database schemas and migration plans in 6 hours instead of 6 weeks. One insider said they saw a 12-person team handle Fortune 500 implementations get told their roles were redundant, effective immediately. One source said it best, we're not getting laid off, we're getting archived. It's almost a little too on the nose. That one feels a little bit suspicious there.
Oh my god.
Let's talk about Amazon. Amazon confirms 16,000. Sources inside say it's going to get a lot worse. 16,000 is just phase 1. Now the 14 coming the next quarter. Entire teams being replaced by 2 to 3 senior engineers running Claude. Alexa division got completely hollowed out. 847 engineers 2 months ago. 23 remaining after this week. One L7 engineer, like a high-level engineer, told me he spent his final 2 weeks creating detailed prompt libraries, workflow documentation, thought he was being helpful for the transition. Turns out he was literally training the AI agent that replaced his entire organization. If you're still at Amazon, you haven't started job hunting, you're already dead.
Wow.
Let's look at some charts. Before I do that, Drew, you have any thoughts on, is AI causing unemployment worries in the short term, like next 12 months, 24 months?
I mean, it's causing the worries in the short term. It's going to be an extinction level event of most jobs in the long term if it's able to expand, right? And it actually works. But then you have a disconnect of humans being taken out of the economy. Is a human an essential part of an economy? It's kind of what you're left asking yourself. And, you know, I saw Sam Altman's conversation. He's looking forward to a future where knowledge isn't something that you can just gain. It's actually, you have to pay for a subscription essentially for knowledge in the future, right? And this is absolutely insane to see. Yeah, Pippin is kind of in that AI, you know, adjacent realm. This is a very weird chart that I've seen running up. What do you think of this chart from where it stands right now?
You know, I just pulled it up and I noticed I had an old Fibonacci sequence. So I was like, all right, nothing crazy. Swing low, swing high. Okay. Well, is it doing anything today? You know, because I always say I don't show a Fibonacci unless there is a there. So is there? And then I saw, oh yeah, we actually covered this in the past. So let's continue to slide this out. Look at that, Drew. Look at that. I don't know how long ago we had pulled this out on Pippin, but it went straight to the 618. Clean rejection off that area. Not quite the bounce there. I think that's more just related to seeing this swing high right there. I mean, very, very clean rejection. Not the cleanest bounce, a clean rejection and another clean bounce. So keep an eye out on this range. This is the 1.6? No, this is just the previous all-time high. Came down, tested this as support, now just having a nice little bounce. Although not that long ago, it was all the way down to the 0.5. I don't know if I would be buying here, but hit that 786, hit that 618. Looking like some pretty juicy buys here for Pippin.
It looks like a super high risk, super high reward type.
Yeah, people were top blasting this, spamming the chat, and I'm glad we were like not saying chase the pump here.
Right, and it's if I want to take a shot at this, I'm not using anything more than 1% of my portfolio to do so. Right, like I'm looking at it as a potential liquidation event. Right, this is just as sketchy as leverage trading for sure. So just adjust your risk that way. And I got Azima's asking, what are your thoughts on Cardano? I've seen, like obviously me, I'm not like I loved Chainlink and I was able to buy Chainlink super low, but I had things happen in my life where I had to make major changes and I avoided a lot more pain in the future for Chainlink.
Hasn't hit our areas. I do like a long, but I will put 40% of the trade there, 60% of the trade at the bottom of this. This isn't. Oh crap! I just changed the length. Dang it! It was like this. Son of a gun. That's just going to be a little bit of a target to the downside.
So
I like starting the position here, the teal line.
Okay. And are you going to be? Is it like a short-term trade position you're looking to open, or is it like?
Yeah. That'd be more of a short-term long there.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, like Chainlink was my darling of the ball for a really long time, and I had to make some major moves, and somehow, the Lord hit me in the head with a 2x4 right before the collapse again. But for Chainlink, I'm looking at $8. I don't hate adding more to the position. It's all just about support levels and making sure I'm not buying high. So Chainlink's back down to the lows. ADA's going back down to those low levels. What does Tau do? I opened up CoinMarketCap and Tau was over $200, and I about spit my drink out of my mouth.
Yeah, 209. So we identified this, kind of trades in a range, and then it has a nice move to the upside. Let's zoom into the 4-hour, and you can see continuing this move on the upside here. And not only that, it looks like, so this is a bullish breakout, but we might have a bullish breakout within the bullish breakout. So more of a small bullish breakout inside of this. Let me see how I think I was running it like this. I think it was pretty sure it was like that. All right, looks like we got rejected. We got pushed back into this range. I was looking at this earlier this morning. Whoo, man, look at that wick an hour ago. So 10 a.m. candle got crushed. The 9 a.m. candle, that's when I was looking at it. It was starting to break out on some of these small time frames. I was like, all right, I'm going to pull up this parallel channel, pull it up 2 hours later, and it's gone. And that support is gone. But look at that. Nice little bounce right here on the midpoint. So I wasn't trading this one, but definitely some trades to be made here. If it hits the bottom of this range, maybe look for a little scalp long. I would hesitate shorting it if it comes out of this range because I do think a bullish breakout is going to be happening here. Now, this is a pretty high angle to the upside. So, maybe temper your expectations on a Tau breakout within this range.
Yeah. Definitely. And that's kind of like the zone that I've been in, God, since I think it was like most of 2025 and now into 2026, where it's like more Tether and trades have been the way that I've been making the most joy in crypto. You know what I mean? So, I've really enjoyed that process. And I'm kind of in the same boat with you, DZ. It's like, I'm short-term trade in the range. I'm only like spot buying Bitcoin right now. But once I start to see some key metrics, I'll start cooking. I'll cook back into it. But
I saw some lightning behind me. Now tonight, folks, I want to go ahead and tease XRP video. Ripple kicks off equity shares buyback from earlier investors. They bought 750 million of the Ripple Labs internal stock here, still a private company at a $50 billion valuation. The Chainlink bull poster, Zach Ryan's token sales to fund stock buybacks. What an amazing grift. So, Drew, I am going to do an XRP video tonight because we're seeing conflicting data. We have Ripple Labs, they're selling XRP tokens to buy back Ripple Labs shares. But at the same time, we have Goldman Sachs, like the largest XRP ETF holder. And so, is smart money dumb or smart money smart? Like, what is happening here? So I'm gonna go into the charts. I'm just gonna look at the Wall Street ETFs, look at the XRP charts. So if you do hold XRP, smash that like button, turn on notifications. And if you hate XRP, watch it anyways, because maybe I'm gonna say this thing's about a dump. So tune in tonight. This is interesting. I saw this yesterday. We did a short on it. Now, Marco Rubio is the favorite on Kalshi to win the presidential election in 2028. I went to Polymarket. He is surging here. Look at Rubio's odds just surging right there. He's this blue line. What is going on with Mark Rubio's odds are surging right now? JD Vance still winning. Gavin Newsom, Mark Rubio, number 3 here. Number 2 Republican. Rubio surging. There was a way to make money off of this. This is way too difficult to predict this early who's going to win. I think all 3 have a fair shot. I saw this. Donald Trump, will he run for a 3rd term? Drew, it's 2% odds. So if you bet no, you're not going to make a lot of money, right? You bet $100, you're making $2. I don't know if, I'm down for that. But I think the alpha here, the strategy, wait for Trump to say something cray-cray.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I will run. It's a joke. See the odds spike up to 5%, then you buy your nose and then sell it like 98%, 99%.
I feel pretty
diamond
strong.
hand for 2 years, sell it 100%.
He's going to run the idea by the media again. I feel very strongly in that thesis. So this might be a little short-term play for sure.
Vance can't win. So he did win, it was Ohio Senate. That was with the book and Netflix movie.
You think about it too, Vance was memed into the idea that he was going to be the next president, and then Rubio's memes started popping up, and now he's the favorite. So, there's something to keep an eye out for the next politician. You saw Jake Paul just got a political endorsement from Donald Trump, right? We're going to have to deal with a Jake Paul
run for governor of Puerto Rico. We don't even live in America most of the time.
It's such upside down world. Waking up to see that news, absolutely insane. We got Crank up in the chat and in the back room too. We're going to be doing some TA with him a little bit.
We're going to be looking at more charts in a little bit. I do want to share the breaking news from this morning here. This is from Wall Street Journal's updated 47 minutes ago. Iran's new leader vows to fight on as ship attacks surge. So we are starting to see, let me just read it. So in his first official message, Khamenei's son here, he's the new supreme leader, is the first official message since he took over from his slain father, said the country would keep Strait of Hormuz closed as shipping on the crucial oil route and nearby waters suffered a sharp uptick in attacks over the past day. He also raised the possibility of opening new fronts in a war that the IEA is causing the biggest ever disruption to oil supply. And the U.S. military is still turning down requests to escort tankers or other civilian ships. Oil futures spiked. Now, this is also a little bit more detail, a little bit more analysis. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Iraq, Bahrain have cut output by nearly 7 million barrels of oil a day. People familiar with the matter said the Strait handled 38% of the world's seaborne crude oil trade. You might be positive. Wait, I heard it was 20%. It's 20% total seaborne crude oil trade. So it's 38% of the oil on vessels in the water in the week before the war began, according to the United Nations Trade Agency. Saudi Arabia, UAE, working to ramp up exports through alternative pipeline routes that bypass the strait. Saudi Arabia, of course, built up their infrastructure in the 80s during their war with Iraq. It's a whole nother conversation there. U.S. military does have a response. It said it has struck more than 60 Iranian Navy ships during the current conflict, but the analysts say Iran retained some of its Mosquito fleet, the small manned and unmanned vessels. So the big ship's gone, small ships, they linger. They're starting to linger. I got to be careful. I don't even want to say too much here. We do have a breaking video of just something. We're not going to talk about the details there, but this is from the past 12 hours, I believe. This is posted 6 a.m. this morning, Eastern Standard Time. So it's ratcheting up.
Yeah.
It's ratcheting up.
I went through the list of all the hits that happened one way or another and all the countries that are involved with this morning. And I said them out loud just to see. And it took 8 minutes to say everything that happened over the past week out loud.
I just checked the oil options. I just checked the oil options, folks. We're going to check the oil options in a second. Iraq did halt operations at its oil ports after 2 tankers were targeted. This is breaking. Also, Trump enthusiastic about continuing the war for at least another 3-4 weeks, even as oil prices rebound. Details include, a call with Macron. He said no one could tell what he wants from this war. U.S. Israel have not secured the highly enriched uranium. They reportedly do not agree on what winning looks like. That's pretty obvious. They have 2 different objectives, and we don't want to leave early, do we? I mean, it's not funny. I think it's just common sense at this point. We don't want to leave early, do we? We got to finish the job, right? Trump said. U.S. stocks opened lower on the day. Let's look at U.S. oil. Now, of course, we talked about the top in 08. This is the height of IEDs. It was very, very tenuous in Iraq and Afghanistan during this period. This is during the surge. Oil would hit a high. You keep going, it then hits this top right here. This is going to be Ukraine-Russia escalations. You run it out, and look at that. That's where we did hit. Let's zoom in, though. Let's see the current price action. We had this trend line. Trump was trying to keep it below this trend line. Iran said, nah. And I guess if you move to the candle bodies right there, that's a little bit cleaner. But right now, the trend is your friend. And the trend is saying, it's getting squeezed between these 2 areas right there. Now, there is a Trump post this morning. This is from 8:14 a.m. So this is breaking Trump post here. United States is the largest oil producer in the world by far. So when oil prices go up, we make a lot of money.
Who makes a lot of money?
If you go to the comment section, people aren't happy. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he literally is so disconnected from middle class at this point. It's insane to me. And not only does the price of oil impact us at the pump directly, right? But it also plays in a massive potential unwinding of these foreign exchange trade plays that have been happening. Like, you remember the yen carry trade. What is this at $27 a call?
I might close it completely, man, at this point.
Okay.
I might close it completely because our average cost was $1.85. One share is $2,700.
Right.
We got in at $185.
Oh, that's delicious. That's like bull run of 2021 in crypto type stuff right there, man. I mean, that's like 15 or 20x. That's a huge move. I personally do kind of feel like oil's going to run to 120. But I mean, those are insane gains that you're sitting on.
We're in the green on our wheat futures as well. The wheat futures are in the green. So we're doing pretty good with the commodities. I will share the losses as well. Liquid natural gas average, we're still up. Our average price is 29 cents. So we're way up. But let me just say, I'm disappointed with this 2.5x.
I'd say give it some time, DZ. I'd say give it some time. 34% of the world's wheat flows through that area, or the fertilizer rather. The fertilizer has a trickle effect on these types of commodities. So
liquid natural gas actually down 10% today. So we're seeing oil up, liquid natural gas down. So we are seeing, but we're up more than we're down, that's for sure. And again, we got in at 29 cents. So we're deep in the money, but we're feeling that greed. Heck, maybe I'll even take profit today. Just small, look, you're up more than 2x. Maybe go ahead and, take some profits, folks. If the longer you stay in the casino, the more likely you give your funds back to the casino. So if you're in the green, feel free to take those profits, folks. I'm not saying diamond hand those options if you got in really cheap with us. Now, Drew, let me talk some stablecoin stuff, and then I'm going to throw it back to you here. Wells Fargo just filed a crypto trademark. Wells Fargo USD, or one of America's oldest banks, founded in 1852, now filing for a stablecoin. We also have Palmer Luckey on stablecoins. All banks will be forced to adopt this to be competitive. That's who Palmer Luckey is, behind Anduril. All accounts, very smart individual. Circle now has minted $8 billion in USDC since February. Not normal for a bear market. Stablecoins sitting idle do not need to be minted. This liquidity is going somewhere. Watch what happens when it deploys. So we're talking about someone taking fiat off the traditional finance rails and putting this fiat into the crypto rails and buying Circle's USDC. Takes me to this. Dubai stablecoin demand going parabolic. I'm in Dubai. What I'm seeing this week is insane. Over-the-counter desks flooded with people asking for USDC. Bank wires getting slower, tighter, harder above 6 figures. So money's moving on chain instead. USD supply jumped 3 billion in 10 days. Biggest underpriced catalyst in crypto right now. Most people still have not understood what this means. Takes me to Cardano and the USDCX. Cardano now could potentially benefit from this as well as USDCX. Market cap for Cardano down 75%. But if you look recently, Stablecoin market cap is up 120%. Cardano's market cap is the orange line. The stablecoins on Cardano is the pink line. So you see them moving in opposite directions. But first off, what the heck is USDCX? It's Circle's USDC, but native to Cardano, fully backed one by USDC reserves and Circle smart contracts, minted directly on Cardano versus Circle's CCTP. How is it different than regular USDC? Privacy. Now, Cardano Yoda has a really good write-up. I quote tweeted it there. Why can't Circle freeze USDC accounts on Cardano, whereas when you can on Ethereum? Because USDCX is a native asset. So USDC has the same properties as Cardano does, as ADA does after minting, including storage in the ledger and transfer. A mint script can be used to mint and burn assets. For burning, the script owner needs to have the assets on their own address versus freezing or burning stablecoins in other people's addresses. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but once the issuer sends USDC to the recipient's address, the recipient has full control over the assets. So your USDCX, you are in full control on the Cardano protocol. The issuer has no control over the assets. Cardano protocol handles the operation. So if Alice sends Bob USDC, the only one who validates the transaction is the Cardano network. Now, of course, talking about USDCX, all valid transactions will be processed. No way to prevent it. Third party will have to force all stake pool operators not to include the transaction in the block, including DZ stake pool. I would refuse. Transfers are safe, cheap. Why is it possible to block transaction and freeze on Ethereum? Why? Because a smart contracts always use. So any logic can be included, and that's including minting, transferring. It handles all operations. Control can be abused. And so now we're seeing, freezable on some chains, not freezable on Cardano. IOG, very, very implemental in this. It's available Circle's X Reserve. They're paying for subsidized bridge fees, so you could do this for free. They just extended this. They did it for 10 days. They extended it further. You can go to Circle. This is literally circle.com. You can find it. It's /X Reserve, but you can find it on there. And boom, right there. There you go. Send USDC, receive USDC back your USDX, and it'll be in the drop down right there. So there you go, folks. USDCX. A lot of people wondering, well, what the heck is it? How is it different? There's your crash course. I know I'm bullish on it personally. I just like that it can't be frozen, Drew.
Pull it back up. So they're working with Canton too. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I saw that. I was wondering if you're going to say something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good sign because, we see the crypto flow and like where money goes is so selective and it changes very, very quickly. So you could trade oil and hyperliquid.
Hyperliquids, their volume is like in the billions. Was it Coinbase's volume is like 74,000. So everybody is trading oil on hyperliquid right now. Makes me more bullish on hype. I will say that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, hype can't be denied. And, like where I see things is, we're going to see a lot of chains that were kind of outdeveloped, go to the wayside. Seeing something be built that's plugging into where the money's actually flowing right now is super important, right? Because the chips are down, the attention's down, the use case is down. But you can see like Dubai, seeing that increase in stable coins, it makes sense. I have my own personal opinions about the people. Like I know a lot of people that shilled things from Dubai that I don't quite trust shilling from their, skyscraper thing in the middle of the desert. In their tax haven. So I will say that. But yeah.
All right. Now we're going to pull up Crank for some charts here, folks. I want to share a chart first though. Reddit, the Reddit chart. I'm looking at some Reddit options. I think it's RDDT. Let me go to all here. Yeah. RDDT and go to the daily. Look at that little bit of a trend line there.
Okay.
It's just hitting this swing low, and right now potentially about to lose this range. Crank, I don't know if you're looking at some charts here. I wouldn't mind you looking at. We'll get to crypto. We'll look at Bitcoin. Maybe they'll look at some Canton. I know Crank has some charts up as well. What are your thoughts on this Reddit trend line? It's just taking the bottom here. I mean, I guess you could make an argument it lost this trend line, but maybe it's bearish. But if you draw that out, let's just see. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in incredibly here to the 1 hour. I mean, if you go straight to that wick, we bounced pretty cleanly here. Reddit engagement goes up in times of war, and we're not going to see the metrics on that for months. So this would be front running their quarterly report when they say, "Oh my God, Iran made our daily active users skyrocket."
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. I have Reddit pulled up for you. RDDT, right? RDDT.
I like the Bob Seger look, Crank.
Little Bob Seger look, man. Yeah, I got
Seger glasses. You got the blue blockers on.
I got a whole bunch of different styles depending on how sophisticated I'd like to look. But yeah, these are
against the trend.
Yeah, man, I don't know much about Reddit, dude. I don't trade it much, but yeah, if you're looking at this, I mean, just cut and dry. This bad boy is bouncing off of a massive trend line right in here, dude. I mean, all the way across from July of 24. So yeah, I mean, it's getting a clear pop, dude. It's absolutely getting a clear pop. I bet you it's also on a massive fib level too. Yeah, look, dude, you're in between this golden pocket and this 786 right down below. So maybe you can get one little just flash wick down or something, then try to snag it just on the break of this. I'd put a stop probably below this. And yeah, man, if you guys are already inside of this trade here, this could be something like this.
DZ's been bringing it up for a little bit of time, so I'm glad you're
like something like that. You know what I mean? And then you could see that would probably like this, the breakdown. You know what I mean? You had this the big neckline right in here, support, waterfall of the break. Something like this would be your trade, man. But that's a big, golly, that's a big move, man. That's a 33%er. You know what I mean? That's a massive move if it was to do something like that from here to here, just like that. And you're not even asking for a big move. You're just asking for, I mean, just something like this, man. All you're asking for is like, look, these are that 24%. These are big moves on Reddit. And so, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going around right now. Everyone's talking on the hidden channels. You know what I mean? So, yeah, these guys are first to run it. You know what I mean? These are the guys that are first to run it.
Now, let me just share this before you start throwing up your own charts there.
Oh,
I love it. It's definitely, I definitely see it. All right. Well, I know you guys got some insane charts you guys are going to go over. I'm interested to see what do you got going on here, Crank?
The first one that we're going to be looking at here, I have my chart if you guys want to bring it up. Yeah, go ahead and bring it on up, man. So we're going to start off real quick, guys, with USDT, because right now, every single time that Biddy has been getting these massive pullbacks, it's because we're not going to get a big pump to this $85,000, guys, if USDT dominance doesn't break this line. This has been the line in the sand right here. We go, raw. Say it, DZ, man. Yeah, we need this thing to break. I mean, you want this to come on down here, down towards 6.4. If we end up getting a nice big pop like it's been doing for almost, I mean, from the beginning of this candle here to here, we're talking over a month. If we end up getting this big pop on dominance, this is, guys, Bitcoin's coming down. I'm talking back down pretty good. I mean, you could see this morning we got a nice big pullback because this got a pop. So if you guys are expecting any type of rally, like a big squeeze, a short squeeze to like 76, 80,000, 85,000, this must break. This is the big line in the sand. So what I would tell all the viewers right now, make sure to go onto your trading views, your phones, your exchanges, whatever it is that you can look at USDT.D and set your alerts right here. Just set it for 7.655. All right. If this breaks, I mean, everybody, it is no time to sleep. It is time to be full active and get rolling, baby. All right. You guys got to be super active, because if this happens, you could pretty much top blast anything. Take your pick, any of your Dino coins. It's going to cook, man. So We're going to start off on dominance. What I was expecting Bitcoin to do, so now that we have dominance all laid out, this is the game plan. If this comes up, which probability states, bounce, 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 rejection, rejection, this thing's probably going to come back up to the top. I'm looking at
it's basically
Bitcoin
in a
right
range up there right now.
Yeah, and you can see here, even on the daily Bitcoin, let's actually just go to a 4-hour to keep it clean. Biddy is loading up right now. You can see here and here. If this happens, and I call it Diddy, all right, because Diddy just bones us, bro. USDT dominance is just gonna bone us. If this thing if Diddy goes up, Biddy's coming down. I did a video last night and we said Diddy versus Biddy. And
oh my Lord. This is the state of the bear market that we're in right now.
Dude,
unbelievable.
So what I'm looking at is 67 to 60, 67 or 68 to 67. Come on down one more time so you guys can see how perfect it almost lines up here. If Diddy pops, Biddy's coming down. I'd like to see this either the golden pocket here or the trend line to hold. And then I think we can get this last, if this comes up like that, this will come down here. We want this to break.
Yeah.
And then this can squeeze really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
That's the game plan, man. Until this plays out, it's it's a scalper's market. You can try to swing trade it from the highs and the lows. I mean, we have beautiful, beautiful ranges here. I mean, from this low right in here to here, it took 4 days. From this high to this low, it took another 4 days. From this low to this high, I mean, it's been just playing out. It was another day and a half, almost 2 days, slowly just bleeding out. Yeah. But probability states right now, Drew, that Diddy's going to end up getting this pop, right? It's accumulating right here. Now, the other thing, too, we could also look at a different pattern and say that this thing is flagging out on this. If we were just to say that even this is flagging out.
No shorter time frame there.
No, this is still on the 4-hour. This is still on the 4-hour.
Yeah.
We could say, you know what I mean? This thing's just we could draw it like this, dude, if you want. Or we could just throw it like this, see what it's going to do. But from here to here, and then we still get that same move up to that 70. I don't think we have much more juice, but I said 75, 76. This would be the move. And then technically all dominance needs to do is just come down probably 1%, just do a quick liquidity grab, like a dip like this. We get this big pop. And then it just kind of fakes everybody out. We think we're so back. We're just so back. And then I think Biddy is going to end up sweeping the 60s. And then we just buckle down. And then this thing kind of plays back inside of the range.
That matches up pretty good with my video last night, what you're talking about. I kind of want to compare notes here because this is what I was looking at, Crank. Let's go full screen. Picked it up for us. And I want your opinion on this. So,
okay.
What I've seen is, we hit that 5 on fear right about here. We did not hit the 5 on fear all the way at the lows. We hit it kind of like halfway down. And I hadn't seen that. We hit a 7 when we were on our way down back when the bear market truly had us by the balls. And we were falling heavy. I'm seeing some similarities to the wick eaten up here to this one. If I'm looking at this from the larger time frame, the fear and greed was the same at these 2 points. And now when I'm looking at this structure, I'm seeing a lot of similarities to June 2022 that I'm seeing right here. Where basically, what are your thoughts on that? Because that's kind of what I'm feeling is that,
So I did that last time. That's I looked at I studied Ben Cowan, man. The guy's been. This is what I for me personally. Unless you're a Ben Cowan and have all the accolades, dude, with the Goldman Sachs and all the X jobs that he's had, dude, if you ain't showing, your P&Ls and your trades, then, dude, leave the analysis to the pros. And I watch him. He's the exception to the rule. But absolutely, he was calling this section here.
Let's pull it
up in here. So he was calling. We'll look at it. One of his posts, he was saying that this right here is this right here. I don't think this is the same. I think that this right here let me grab this, is this right here.
Okay.
That's me personally, and this is what you're talking about. You're talking about this this May of 22.
Well, what I'm talking about is June. What you're talking about is just a month before that. So I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs here, but that's really the big difference in where we
this
could
would be. So, and again, if we measure out, this was a 16% move. This was a 16% move from this candle to this high. If we don't get the short squeeze, this is what I think is next. I don't think the Bitcoin's. We go up to the on Market Cipher on the daily. It looks beautiful. Let's let this load up real quick. But yeah, this is very similar to where I think that the next couple months, man, Biddy's going to find its bottom. I don't think the bottom is in. And
I do agree with you on that. You know, and we're clearly in the bear market. So it's about like where that max capitulation moment is. And that's what me and you are kind of sit here sniffing out. And even when we fell to 17.7 in June of 22, we still dropped a few months later after a short squeeze. We dropped 11% lower than that bottom end of the wick. And like, I'm just sitting here looking at this. Like, I feel like low 50s are going to be the spot. If your assertions are correct,
40s,
you're looking at like
I think we're
40.
going to drop 40%, dude. I think we're going to drop another 30 to 40%, which is pretty easy for Bitcoin to do, especially looking at this, man. If dominance goes ballistic, and on top of that, Bitcoin is, let's go over here to the SPY. Let's look at the 3-week. Yeah, buddy. I don't know, man. This thing's looking for a haircut. If this drops 20%, dude,
it is.
Biddy is. If this drops 20, Biddy's dropping 40. I mean, it's just they're not. Bitcoin is not a mature asset. Bitcoin is still an adolescent, and it's going to do some wild, surprisingly things because everybody's creating these narratives of hopium, dude. First it was M2, and then it was Genius and Clarity, and then it was gold rotation. I don't know, man. I'm just sticking to the charts. I'm just going to stick to the charts. And I can say that if the SPY drops 20%, dude, which is healthy, this thing's been raging, dude. It's been just ballistically raging.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that if we pull back 20%, then Biddy's going to come back down. And that's going to put Bitcoin right around, my targets were going to be, let's just go from this high to here. 40%, man, is right. Yeah. I was saying 41s, 38s, 35s to 41s, 42s. I think that's going to be the low. Something like right in here. Very simple, but you're absolutely right. This is what happens next instead of May, June, is this right in here, man. This is, and what most people need to understand is that every single Bitcoin bottom in history, you do not get a V-shaped recovery bottom.
Right.
Never. Not a
that's
single
something
time.
people need to understand really clearly. And that's like, me and you are completely on the same, and we're only off by like opinions by like a month of what 2022 was. And now we're like looking down. I am a little bit surprised that Bitcoin is holding up as well as it is with everything going on in the world right now. You know, if you would have said the headlines of what's happened over the last month, I would have been like, oh my gosh, we're going to like, 50s easy in that. And we're sitting here ranging. So it's definitely got me thinking pretty hard. What is this chart that you're looking at right now, so we can give some context to this?
This is Bitcoin right here. And I'm showing you guys that Bitcoin never once in history has a V-shaped recovery bottom. Not once. Here it is. I'll just pull it up right here. Here is the bear market going from, September through May. So this was going to be 18 through 19. Nice, long, gruesome bottom. All right. That was 250 days. Same thing. We come back over here to this bottom. Nothing has changed. 260 days. Nice, long, grueling bottom. All right. We could see here, this is not a bottom. This is, maybe Bitcoin does something, but I'm just going off of the rhyme and the rhythm. History does not need to repeat itself. But if we come down and we do exactly what I'm talking about, and we just go here to like a quick bars pattern, let's go here to here. We drop something like this. All right. And then we have our nice, big, long, grueling bottom. This is what I'm looking for, man. Bitcoin bottoms are not created in a V shape, and I don't think this is Bitcoin's bottom. So, but I'm gonna be trading every section of this market, man.
Yeah.
I would be keeping. I would say though, anything in the 60s deploy, because if something radically happens, dude, maybe it is the bottom. I would say buying in the 60s for Bitcoin, you're buying a 50% discount. So I'd say, yeah, that's pretty good. I wouldn't sit on your hands, because what are you complaining about? A 20% difference between a 40 and 60? I would say, yeah, I would say, get started. I'm looking at institutional assets. So again, for my spot bags, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I think I'm going to have heavier Solana bags.
Dude, Solana in the AI agent sector too, right? I mean, Solana's got a big play in the AI sector.
I'm going to go more heavy Solana this run than ETH, because I'm here to tell you, man, it's so much easier. It is so much easier for Sol to get to $200 than it is for ETH to get to 4 or 5 G's. I'm just telling you, I'm Solana, TRX, Sotron, BNB, and Hyperliquid. Those are going to be my big players for this next run, dude. I think I haven't decided yet on flyers. You know what I mean? If I just put like a little $5,000 in each one of these little flyers and just see if they can get me at least a 3-4x, you know what I mean? So maybe Aerodrome. One thing that the Disco fam, I like Aerodrome. I'll take that. Remember, I told you guys I wouldn't touch it until it came down to 30 cents, and everyone laughed at me. And it was at $1.18, right. And I'm like, guys, it's a new coin.
Altcoins are all about timing, dude. It's
all about timing, dude. And
it's all about timing.
And guys, I've lived
that's
through.
What me and you agree with is like, this is not a V-shaped recovery, and like, what you're talking about, just to clarify and recodify what we're talking about. So you're looking at this range being basically where we're at right now, where we still have that nasty flush, and that will bring us down to the 40s. Something that is feeling, because I use production cost of Bitcoin really heavily, and kind of when I'm looking for the bottoms and, previous market highs. And so like, for me, I'm seeing the same fear levels currently as we saw here. I'm seeing production costs being below what it costs to produce a Bitcoin, the same as we saw here, but it didn't mean that we were out, and ready to party yet. And like, this is where we still had 12-11% to drop from the bottom of this wick, even when we hit that max, 7 on the fear zone, and everything was falling apart in crypto, so generally, man, like, I really agree with, some sort of, sweep to the upside, bonk our head on this, which is now probably resistance for the time being, and then come down and sweep the lows. It's just about how deep into this we go. Like, this range is where a lot of ETF buying was happening. And then there is rock solid, it's definitely going to be able to defend itself in the high 40s. I feel that way, at least. But
I feel that way big time. That's a big level, dude. That's a big macro level too. Pull that fib, dude, from 15.5 all the way up to 126.
Let's do it. Let's pull the fib. This is the time that's super exciting for me to cover and kind of dissect this too, because this is where the bottom blasting can begin.
Look at that 618, dude, is coming into that, but that's that 786 support flip right in there all day. I'm saying, dude, it's just normal charts, guys. Guys, this is cryptocurrency. Anything can happen. Black swan, white swan. I mean, let me just remind you guys that we barely just had our 1 year State of the Union. I mean, you guys, you guys, we got 3 whole fucking years left. Are you if you guys haven't even, bro, get buckled in, boys, ladies and gentlemen, because you guys haven't seen anything yet. We still got 3 years of this. I mean,
I know.
Are you kidding me? Dude, it's insane. It feels like it's been an eternity.
Yeah, look, and he's like, oil going over $100 is good for America, and so basically this is the oil chart, the Brent crude chart. This is chaos. Oil should not be trading like a meme coin, but it is. The world's in flux, and now the S&P we got to cover the S&P again, because we were talking about this I feel like a month ago, or even longer, when we started seeing the wicks get eaten up to the upside in this little droopy pattern. I left this drawing on here when we started talking about this crank, and this is playing out in a big way right now. So, it's not a matter of if it's going to fall, it's about how far it's going to fall and where it's going to find that support. And there's problems. The private credit crunch, right? The private credit crunch happening with banks. And this is what people don't understand is like, if private credit is screwed, then there is a very high likelihood that a lot of these AI investments, these hyperbole charts in AI, are also screwed. And then if AI in these small investment vehicles in it are about to go down big time, then you're going to see the NASDAQ fall. The NASDAQ falls, you got a massive washout, right? So this is something to pay attention to. There is no Federal Reserve interest rate cut. And this is the crazy part. I want your opinion on this. Let's talk about this a little bit, because we have oil going ballistic, and this is putting a lot of pressure on foreign exchange markets. Foreign exchange markets, the most important, in my mind, the one that can cause the most van damage is the yen carry trade situation. When we saw Bitcoin snap crash down to 49K back in 2024, it was because the yen versus the dollar, this is the USD versus JPY. The yen priced in dollars, hit 161. Then you saw a massive yen carry trade unwind. You saw trillions of dollars lost in the blink of an eye. And now the yen is like heading back out. Does this chart look like it's about to break out? Because I was looking at this chart this morning.
Yeah, dude, there's a bunch of them, dude. There's a bunch of them. You can look at the peso. I know some Forex traders, man, that are just lighting it up right now against the dollar.
Right.
These dudes are killing it.
Right.
They're killing it. But yeah, dude, look at JPY. That's looking, dude. If it goes there, look at your fair value gap, man. Look at that. You could squeeze up to, even a little bit there, breaks through there. It's gonna squeeze even, right there, dude. Like somewhere in between those two lines. This thing's ready to cook, baby. Yeah.
They have their rate decision on the 18th of this month, literally 6 days from now. The Central Bank of Japan is going to decide if they're going to raise interest rates, and that could cause a massive unwinding. This pressure that oil is causing, Japan is a major importer of oil, right? So when you see the price of oil doing this kind of spike right here, you see currency intervention, and that translates to the Bitcoin chart. This is what caused this nasty, freakish wick to the downside when we were supposed to be, in an up-only season in Bitcoin. This event, the last time we saw something like this unraveling, dropped Bitcoin by 30% in a week. You know what I mean? So,
dude, could you imagine if something like that happens and then it lines up to everything that we've been talking about, that 30-40%? But here's the thing, though, guys. Stick to the TA. Somebody was like, hey, Crypto Crank is smoking crypto crack, thinking that these thinking that these levels are impossible to hit. Well, guys, all I could do, people say, show me the candle and I'll show you the news events or whatever. I don't care. If the level's broken due to war, if the level's invalidated due to the JPY, the level's just invalidated. So I just stick to the chart. If you're saying, DZ, that there's confluence, that the last time JPY did something like this, Bitcoin dumped 30%. I'm calling a 30-40%. All right, pullback, just strictly based off of a technical analysis between 15.5 and 126. Makes total sense. We run 600-700%. We come down 60. And again, guys, these are diminished returns. Hey, real quick, Drew, just do a calendar, dude, from or a ruler, and do it from 126 down to 41.
All right, let's do it. Do you want percentage basis?
Yep, all the way down to 41.
Yeah, about
guys,
67.
Well, think about it this way, dude. You'd still have 84, and then it was 77, and now it's 74, and now it's going to be 67. Diminished returns.
67.
6, 7, dude. I mean,
I
dude,
hate this. I hate everything about. Have you heard this 6-7 thing going on with kids right now, Crank?
Yeah, dude, these 6, 7s. I'm trying to keep up with it. First, it was
Bro.
big back, and everybody. I don't know what these. I'm trying to keep up with it too, dude.
And so, like, I'm in the season right now where, like, every altcoin that's pumping, I feel like shorting. And trading is one of my favorite aspects, and it's something I've been honing for years and years. And it's a way to make money. Like yesterday, I saw ICP had some pump out of nowhere, so I decided to short it. Made 100% or 70% when I snapshotted this, but I closed it for 100%. And it's a nice way to continue making money even when things are so uncertain, so insane. And I know that you're trading out there too. You're posting wins. You're in the Discord. I love trading on 2bit. We also have ZoomX. I know you're trading heavily on ZoomX as well. I can trade gold, which I like. I like trading gold and copper on 2bit. Can you trade any commodities on ZoomX as well?
Yeah, you could trade gold. Absolutely, you can. You can trade gold. I've slowly requested that they add a handful of others. You know what I mean? XAG. I want silver on there, maybe USO. But I just die laughing, dude. The crypto is so freaking boring that every crypto exchange is now listing all the commodities. They're listing, dude. It's so boring that we now have to list oil, gold, silver, copper. You know what I mean? It's just.
Well, dude, have you seen the state of crypto Twitter? Look at this. Like Bonk Fun Team got hacked yesterday, hijacked, and the account was forcing a drainer on the domain. Like, there is so much sadness. And I was looking at I got a buddy that we used to have on the show every now and again. His name is Rodney, Crypto Journeys. And like Crypto X has just turned into a total nightmare. This is his post. I'm so tired of being effing rugged. And it's just Sonic the Hedgehog on the way down. This is ticker your bags, and I just, all the comments under it is just someone else shilling something. This is my comment. RIP memes. It's a place where, like Bonk ruined one of my favorite stocks. Bonk, I don't know if you know this, but there's a stock called Safety Shot, and they turned it into a Bonk reserve for the company. They made a Bonk reserve for the company. It absolutely got crushed. So it's like, you can sit here looking at this burning dumpster fire and be like, I'm going to jump in because I might be able to survive. Or you can wait for it to burn out and then see what emerges afterward, right? There's always fertilizer created from destruction, right? So something else will always grow out of it, but you have to understand that, things can get real ugly real quick in any sector. What is this chart you got going up here? Let's check this.
This is Biddy. I'm just looking at it right now, dude, because I've been saying, Biddy just got a pump. I was going to short this thing, but we were doing the show. I was going to short this thing on this pump because dominance had a nice little on
Tether.
On Tether. So dominance here on the 1 minute is getting ready to bounce, which means Biddy's getting ready to give back all of this. So I was going to take a little short, and you can see. So what I wanted to see is maybe if Biddy gets one more little pop up here, I'll short this thing, and then this pops, but it's already running, so it's all good. Yeah, I was just watching it, man. Try to make a quick little. I got stopped out the last 2 nights during my scalp and chill, dude. I got a 3% and another 4%. It's almost 25 G's, dude. So I'm just taking it a little slow. Got stopped out twice during my live streams, man. And so I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch the market right now. I posted a whole bunch of I'll post all of those inside of the Discord as well.
Okay.
I'll post there's like 5 different trades that I'll post inside of the Discord now. The biggest thing too is none of these trades are going to come into these targets and these golden pockets if Bitcoin rages, and this is the bottom and we do squeeze from here. So all the targets that I'm looking at for like XRP, Litecoin, Ethereum, Solana, they have some pretty strong targets, man, but we need to see Bitcoin get that pullback. This is ultimately what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. This is what my plan is for this week, because if we do go to the daily on Bitcoin, All right, let's look at market cipher on the daily here. This is dominance. Hold on. Let's go to Bitcoin on the daily. Let's clean up all of this. You can see we got a nice little trend line here. If we're going to squeeze, see how I have a little alert? You know what I mean? I have a little alert here to get notified, but we could see the price action between 80,000 and 94. All right. We weren't able to break this 94K, but we still had this same trend line running right in here, just like this, just slowly cooking. Well, we could see and I'll pull this up real quick so that way you guys can see this in the middle. Make sure everyone can see this. So here we go. Momentum is weak to the downside, slowly curving in. Really, really, really tight RSIs, super tight RSIs right in here. Money flow is flat. Momentum's getting weaker to the downside. All right, let's clean this up. Now let's go to the same price action between 60 right in here. We have the top right in here. Same thing, kind of coiling up. Had our first little pop, came down. Really, really, really tight RSIs. Money flow is flat. All right, starting to curve in. Tight RSIs up on top.
Mm-hmm.
And
those momentums to the upside are kind of looking lackluster.
Beautiful,
though.
dude. These are yeah, you're right. They're not very strong, but when this move happens on a squeeze,
yeah,
look at what happens. They can come down, and everybody thought, oh, this thing's coming down, and look what ended up happening. Everyone said, oh, momentum's coming down here, and then boom. This thing can come like this and throw a little baby one and then go like this, boom, like that. Yeah. And this money flow starts curving in. We get one more little baby wave to the downside. I'm looking for this little pullback, dominance to come back up to the top of its range. And again, dominance just needs to just come up. Where's dominance here? Dominance just needs to come back up to the top of this. And I think we're going to get that. Yeah. And then we get that squeeze, man, up to 75, 76. That would be nice. And then I'm going to take that big, fat, juicy short and hold this thing down to wherever we're going to be.
Yeah.
It's looking really good here.
I'm on the same page with you about the 76, 75 area. Likely going to be a place of turbulence. We're going to run into some rocky stuff there. So, I'm going to play the market pretty much the same way. I do feel that, the time frame that we have to wait to get out of this negative money flow that the weekly has just started, it's going to take time to get ourselves out of this. And, everything, like I know I covered a lot of macroeconomic stuff, but it will matter to our bags. It's going to matter to the S&P 500, and it's going to matter to, the banking infrastructure. Like, this is something that we haven't really covered too much, but this is the private credit reports. Private credit stocks crash. Exposure to collapsing software sector. You have the SaaS apocalypse striking private credit software stocks. Blue Owl getting hit. Like, this is wrapped up in a lot of the reason why BlackRock was actually not letting people out of the positions about a week ago. BlackRock slashed private loan value from 100 to 0. And this is max chaos, man. This is absolute chaos. That's why I like trading. I like Tether and I like Bitcoin in this range. Those are my two favorite cryptos right now is Tether and Bitcoin.
The other thing too, man, look at things that are cooking, man. Like Hyperliquid has just been on fire, dude. Hyperliquid, guys. I'm the fact that they are doing that HIP4, the new protocols coming out, dude. They're doing the burning mechanism. Dude, Hyperliquid's gonna touch a couple $100, dude. I'll be shocked if it doesn't, but it's baby market cap. They're taking playbooks from Binance, from BNB. Hyperliquid's here to play, and Hyperliquid, I think, is here to stay. So I think, dude, I even think $37, $20. Just keep loading up, man. Loading up. I want a massive bag of this. So I haven't started layering into any cryptos just yet, but look at Hyperliquid, dude. Dude, I'm liking this, man. And then it came down, dude, from this low of $9 to the all-time high. Came right into this. Man, I really like Hyperliquid, dude.
Yeah.
I really like Hyperliquid. So
I'm looking for that $20 spot for like heavier buy zone on Hyperliquid as well. A lot of people in the chat I saw were asking about your opinions of where Solana's bottom could actually be if we
Yeah, I
see
want
this
Sol
pain
too.
extended, right? I think we should take a look at Solana because I still take it very seriously as a crypto chain, and I don't think Solana is done by a long shot. But what is kind of like the bottom range do you think Solana could fall down to in this kind of current crypto climate?
I was always saying $40, dude. I think $40. I mean, that's another. I mean, if Bitcoin's going to drop 20 to 40%, this thing can drop another. This thing can get pummeled. You know what I mean? So it's all an if-then scenario. But $40, dude, 40 to $50, I'd probably be loading up. Some people are calling targets, dude, all the way down to like 12, 17, 20. We got to see how rough Bitcoin gets beat up, man. We want to see how rough Biddy gets beat up. So if Bitcoin does, it's an if-then scenario. If Bitcoin actually comes down towards that 40s, 50s, I think we do one more liquidity grab of this on this 786, which is 69, maybe down into the 50s, 44s. It's almost like how everyone was like, man, we're never going to see XRP. It's at $1, and then it came down to 32 cents.
Right.
It's something like that where I really think that we can get into that 40, 35, 42 level. And then I'm going to buy a boat ton of this. I'm going to buy a boat ton of hype. I really think that those two projects, killer plays. I'm actually going to be heavier. I'm going to be heavier Solana than I am, like I said, ETH this run.
Yeah.
I'm going to be way heavier.
It's kind of feeling like it's Solana's time to shine, man. It really is. The AI agent expansion is undeniable. And like, where I'm at right now, I'm like starting to realize Brian Armstrong's post last week really hit me. It's like, banks cannot onboard AI agents. AI agents have to use crypto wallets. And there's hundreds of millions of AI agents that have been developed, if not billions. And it's probably going to continue to be exponential. So I'm taking Solana real serious for that AI infrastructure build out. I'm taking Tau real serious as a potential grab within that same sector. And this is where the awesome times can be, just mapping out where the actual money's flowing into, but just being cognizant, right, of, potential headwinds that we have to get through this year that might cause those really low entry points that we're looking for. So
let's just put it this way, guys. I mean, if Bitcoin even gets back down to 60s, you guys are going to get some more of these Dino coin prices. Bitcoin can go. Remember when we talk about a grueling, just long expansion of a bear market? This is where the accumulation. This is where I loaded up Chainlink at $5 to $8 and traded it, man. For 560 days, man. It was beautiful when we go through these phases like this, and so. This is what really separates the men and women from the boys and the girls. It's time to woman up, man, and if you guys think that we were lucky, some people think that we were lucky and it's not conviction and we were just at the right place at the right time. We've been through almost 3 cycles. This is the time where you guys got to be violent with your education and don't be buying things just because people said.
Right.
But really look at the narratives right now and the environment that we're in. This is, guys, these institutions are here to play. And if you think you were disappointed the first time, don't let it surprise you the second time by there was an alt season. It just wasn't on your core bags.
Right.
BNB, Tron, Hype.
Like I started to
Zcash.
show people didn't even acknowledge that ICP went to $20. And ICP is like a ghost chain, it feels like. And it's still pumped like crazy, Crazy things can happen.
It can happen, man, and don't count it against it, guys. And you know what? If there's nothing that surprises me, Drew, TJ, DZ anymore, man. It's an if-then scenario. Keep a little gunpowder on the side for these. And these aren't really what I'm talking about for my targets. These aren't black swan events. I'm talking a black swan event for Bitcoin would be in the 20s.
Yeah.
We go breaking $32,000, dude. That's a black swan event, dude, for Bitcoin. The S&P's down 40%. Something ballistic, you know what I mean? The recession, financial crash, they blame Trump for it. I'm talking about something crazy, like a real, not just normal TA. I'm talking where our levels get nuked.
Prediction. I got scared.
Ooh, here we go. Let's hear it.
Cyprus, a tiny little nation just outside of the okay. Everyone in the chat, that wants to look at what I'm saying, Cyprus is a potential. God, I don't even know if I should say this on the air. It might really get hit, but there could be a very large, big bada boom go off in Cyprus with everything going on right now. It's a strategic position, and it would be on the list. Now, I want to look at some charts here because you're jotting my memory. Render, I remember I was able to make a 2x, and I felt disappointed out of that in 2024 because it went from like $5 to $10. I took the profits or whatever, and I haven't looked at Render in a really long time. I do feel, and I agree with DZ, that the shared compute narrative is really hard to compete in. I want to get your opinion about this, Crank, because in my mind, I'm able to just walk away from Render and not worry about it. I think it's playing
Render,
around.
Near, H-bar, Dino coins, man. All I'm gonna say, man, is that if you're a believer, now's the time to buy. You guys want to look at Render?
Dude, let's pull it up. I want to look at this. Yeah, I maybe I should do a basement video about Cyprus.
I mean, here's Render, dude, down at $1.4059. I mean, if you wanted to be a buyer, I mean, it just had a nice big pump, but this 132, this long accumulation down here. Let's go to like a 4 hour and let's look at this. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. I mean, this is looking pretty from here to here. I mean, we could see it's just been slowly freaking rounding out. Didn't even put in a lower low than here. This was the bottom. Quick little liquidity squeeze. Now it's just slowly rounding out right in here. So I'd say, man, if Render gets that pullback as well with Bitcoin, we could look at something from like here to here. $1.40 comes down, $1.40 keeps this little trend rolling. Yeah, man, all these Dino coins. Remember, you're not even asking for a higher high. You can just go from here to here to here.
Yeah, and that trend line right there is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and just even just something from here to here is still 30%. I mean, really? You guys want to make money in the crypto market, even just a pop from here to here, dude, you're going to make that's stupid. Guys, you do realize that a bank's paying you 1-2% a year to even think that you have the potential to make 30% in a year. This is where you'd want to buy it. I mean, this is where you'd want to take it. You know what I mean? This is where you would want to take these trades. Same thing with Cardano. I think Cardano's dog shit. You know,
think it's rounding out though. I know you're gonna have your opinion. I got out of it at $1 because I got aggravated with the chart.
I mean, look, it's even the Dino. It is rounding out. I mean, on the daily, it's doing exactly the same thing. Momentum's coming in. Money flow has just been completely flat. Tight RSIs. You know, if you want to buy this Dino coin, this is look at this chart, you guys. If you believe in Cardano and you guys thought it was going to $8, you better be excited at 26 cents. I'm just telling you, man. If you thought it was going to $8 and $3 and you were, man, you guys thought it was going to the moon and you guys thought XRP at $3, it's going to 10, 12, it's going to 5.89. Then you guys better be excited about these prices. I mean, I'm excited about a $60,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm excited about a $20 to $30 Hyperliquid. I'm excited about a $40 to $60 Solana. This is where we separate. This is where, guys, in 2 years from now, you know, you guys got to remember, nothing's changed in the 4-year cycle except for two things. One, we hit a all-time high pre-halving. And two, we didn't see an alt season. That's it. Other than that, we're in a 4-year bear market. Yeah.
AI agents pumped, and then things that were adjacent to AI in March pumped really good. Cardano, like that pump to $1.20 or whatever it was right after the president of the United States put a tweet out that we're going to start a crypto strategic reserve with Cardano, XRP, and what was the other one? Was it Solana? He included 3 altcoins.
I think it was Solana too, and
yeah,
you know, and that's the guys. Here's the other thing too. I'll tell you what, because I would rather take Cardano over Arrow because I know that at this price, my risk to reward right now, I get to make 150%, not even putting in a new all-time high, just to this trend line right here. Lows, lower high, lower high. Even just from here, from right now to right here is 150%. I'll take my one and a half, 2x, not including if we actually break this, you know what I mean? Because I know, again, we don't have quarterly financials, guys, for cryptos. We have communities. Is the community still growing? Is the community still strong? Is the dev team still building? Is the owner still involved? You know, Drew, we're going to make Cardano great, and we're going to rip it to the fucking moon because I've lost $3 billion, and we're going to get it back. We're going to get it back strong, and Trump's going to help me get it back. We're going to get it back.
Right.
We're going to get it back. And so we're going to get it back. And so I tell you what, I would take ADA over as my flyer because $5,000 turns into, dude, $5,000 could turn into 10, 12,000, 15,000 pretty freaking easy. You know, even if I did 10 grand, like, or even if you guys just did $100, you make 250, 300. Easy. Easy. I would take this over. And again, let's just compare my flyers to like some people's flyers. Let's look at Arrow.
I lean more Arrow than Cardano. I'm more interested in Arrow than Cardano.
Yeah,
I am.
No, man, so, you know, if we just go same trend line, what does this go from here to here? I mean, depending on where it goes to, same 150, 200. And it is easy. It really is easy for Aerodrome to do this. I said that I would buy it. Everyone was back up here to $1.18, and everyone said, oh, this thing's just, remember, these guys were saying this thing's getting ready to go crazy. And I'm like, guys, this coin is about to be battle tested because Bitcoin's going to break 90, 80s. Dude, I had the charts for the Wyckoff distribution from last year in March. And look, it played out. Now, dude, I said I would touch it when we get down to 30. We actually got down to 28. So you know what? Maybe I'll match it. I'll do $5,000 Cardano and $5,000 Aerodrome because, again, one little pop up to here, you make phenomenal money. And to think that my expectations for my time frame, dude, this can happen during the summer. This can happen at the end of October, November, beginning of next year. If I'm thinking that I'm going to make 100% on my money, and there's even a chance of that, and my risk to reward, I mean, dude, this thing, comes down another 10%. I mean, my risk to reward right now is fat, dude. I mean, my risk to reward is stupid.
And I feel like Coinbase play is what gives Arrow more power than a lot of other projects, right? So it's like it's still structurally important to Base Network, and Coinbase ain't going out quietly about Base Network. You know what I mean? They're even enticing JP Morgan into it. So it's like I see this structural pillar of Base Network at 30 cents again. Like when I first bought a good bag of this, it was 18 cents. It just came out, and I just felt strong about Coinbase pushing this forward. And I've taken profits on this thing twice when we were near the $2 level. I think actually I might have been over $2. And I looked at it. I was like, this is a 10x. I'm taking my money off the table. I left a little bit on the sidelines to see what it could cook for me, you know. But once you and Piano Matty B and our quant and our Discord all convinced me that no, we lost 87. It was like when we lost 87, 86 and started heading back downtown, I called Uncle. I was like, fine, we're in a bear market. And, you know, I wanted nice things for myself. So I divested from my altcoins. Now we've completely washed back to the downside. I have seen not really structural integrity lost in Base Network. And that's why I'm looking at this chart, like kind of thinking I might be taking some plays in the short term. Like, even though this is the hard part for me, Crank, is because I don't feel like the money flow is ready to go back on Bitcoin to the upside, and the good times are like right around the corner. But these are some low, very important structural levels for projects that I feel decent about.
This is where you would want to buy, guys. You are buying from the top, which was literally just guys, this was November of 24. All right. You are buying at almost a 90% discount. It's cut and dry. This is where you want to buy. You're buying at an 80% discount from literally just August of 25. This is where, again, I keep saying it, you separate the men and women. You guys got to get in it, man. You guys got to focus, because these are the prices that you want. If you believe in these projects and you're doing your research and you think that Aerodrome with its partnerships and, you know, this is where you want to buy these projects. Start loading up, man, every week. Start DCAing, you know, because even if I was to zoom in, let's just go to a 2 hour, dude, and we can see the pump that we just had with Bitcoin. Even if this thing pulls back, I mean, from here back to the trend line, you're only coming down 15%, which is pretty easy, 15, 16%. Just keep loading up, man. Just keep on buying.
So one chart that's driving me nuts that I like this project, is Morpho. You remember I was trying to get Morpho in that $1.30, maybe $1.50 range. This thing is not losing its ground yet. I feel and I hope that it does lose a little bit of ground, because like the lending is just going ballistic on this thing. Look at this thing. It's not giving me my spot. You still have the line from the last time that we talked about this. Give me your updated opinion, because it looks a little floppy.
Here you go. It's okay. We got a bearish divergence, dude. We got the bearish divergence. Momentum. RSIs are tight. You know, maybe one more little pop up, dude, into these trend lines, and then it's over. So let's just see what happens. But yeah, and then we have our trend lines, $1.50. You know what I mean? Just a nice little pullback. Keeps running. So yeah, but I mean, momentum waves are showing, dude, a bearish divergence on the daily, that as this thing's coming up, every single pop, dude, look at from our first pop here on the momentum to what we're witnessing right now. It's getting weaker, dude. And so, yeah, it's getting weaker. And I'd just be patient. I would just be patient, because again, Bitcoin runs the show. You also got to remember too, man, that markets get a little crazy during elections. You know, we got a long year ahead of us, guys. We're only in March, man.
Oh, I know.
You know, wait till China or Russia, or, you know, you guys got North Korea talking these things. It's getting wild, bro. It's getting crazy out there. And let me
Kim Jong-un is just sitting on the sideline like, what about me? You know,
yeah, dude, he's like, we have nuclear bombs that can hit the shores now. You guys better be prepared. And the last one they sent off ended up in the ocean about 2 miles away from them. They couldn't. This is crazy, dude. I mean, just everyone be patient. China. Yeah, we gotta just be patient, man. So I would say, if you guys are hot on Morpho, I know that they're really advertising that Morpho's really got to be paying Coinbase, because Coinbase on my app is just lighting Morpho up. Dude, lending. It's crazy out there.
I told you it was going to happen. And it's not even just like, so Coinbase has that intention with Morpho, but Morpho is being put all over the place. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, and also that FUD against Aave, some of that value is trickling down to the number 2 competitor, which is Morpho. You know, so I'm seeing a little bit of ground be gained in the lending market. And, you know, I don't think that the government can kill DeFi and lending and all that that's available on crypto, because it already exists. They could say, no, you can't do any of this. You have to stay in your bank. And guess what you're going to see? You're going to see people take huge chunks of their value out of the banks, and you're going to see them put it into crypto. If they're told that they simply can't, they're going to do it anyways, you know? So it's very interesting to see that kind of change now.
Exciting times, dude. I'm in for the ride, baby. I'm ready to see, because like I said, we're trading it. Dude,
speaking of ride, are you liking the King Ranch?
I tell you what, thank God I don't drive a lot, because fucking diesel just went to the moon.
I know. I'm driving my Sequoia around, and I'm just.
And you gotta at least put premium in yours too. It's twin turbo, bro. Yeah, I hope you know you gotta be putting premium in those things, dude. Is what they say.
Dude,
and it's $4.50 for premium. I don't know what it is
yours
in your
is twin
state.
turbo. I got the 5.7 V8, so it's not a twin turbo.
I say, yeah, I got you. So it doesn't. I got you. It doesn't have the other motor for the Sequoia.
But
Got you.
Still,
so
it's a hog. It's an absolute.
Oh,
hog,
it's a hog.
You know?
It's a hog. I'm loving my limited, dude. I got me that limited F350, but thank God I don't drive. It's got I keep it filled at least once a week, so I'm only putting $25 to $50 because I have the auxiliary tank in it, dude. I'm able to go almost 750 miles in my diesel truck.
Yeah.
And so it's got an SBF or a Banks auxiliary tank underneath it, dude. Replace the factory.
That's a cowboy Cadillac, baby. That's a cowboy
it's
Cadillac.
bad, dude. I love my diesel truck, dude. I love my diesel truck. But yeah, man, I just was floored. I went to go. I was at like a half a tank, and I was like, "Oh, cool. What's diesel?" And I'm like, 448 or something. I'm like, "What the fuck?" It was literally just like 312, and I'm like, "What?
Well, while that's
ripped,
going on,
dude.
Trump's like, higher gas prices are great for America. We make more money. It's great.
I also thought he said though that it's going to be short-lived.
It's not. It is absolutely
he
not,
says it's going to be short-lived.
It is absolutely not. We can't say all the little words that'll ping us online. This is not done. This is not close to done. So it is what it is. I'm going to outfit the Sequoia with a nasty front bumper, rear bumper. I'm going to rig it out, over time. But yeah, the chat is going, gas is going to $10 in Cali. Colorado's $4.49 for 91. Diesel $5.59. This is crazy. We got to make sure we're outpacing this increase. That's why we got to learn the skills to trade, folks. This is what I saw coming. Hyperinflation. You have to understand how to make money in any market. Very, very important. Yeah, healthy. This is a good comment. Higher gas prices are great for America for health because everyone's got to walk everywhere.
Yeah, everyone's got to walk everywhere, man. Everyone's got to walk everywhere, and
Lord.
We'll see how energy plays out, man. In this, let's see. I want to see how energy plays out, man. I really do.
I think Brent's going back to near 120, dude. I really do. Like this thing. It looks
almost
vile.
everything though has had these crazy expansion phases. So we saw it with silver, we saw it with gold, we saw it with Bitcoin, and now we're seeing energy. I don't think it's done either, man. And obviously, here's what's crazy, guys. The last time we added crazy futures leverage to the crypto exchanges was gold, and look what happened, bro. And then they added silver, and we saw these parabolic rises. I mean, gold from $5,000 to $5,600, and then back to 5,000 in a day. That's trillions. I mean, just astronomical. So gold, USO and energy, dude, oil, it's not done yet. The futures market's gonna participate, and these guys are gonna obliterate this thing, dude. It's not over yet, especially because they're gonna take advantage of all the news events.
Face says it's so good. It's like when you start dancing with the devil, when you start dancing with the devil, these markets can get
invite
really,
the
really
devil
crazy.
into dance, baby, man. You guys are asking for it, and it's just understand the game that you're playing, man. They're out to sell it higher than you, and it is me versus you. There's winners versus losers. There's buyers and sellers. I'm excited to meet him, man. I'm excited to meet all you guys when I go out to Vegas next month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We
excited to say hello to all of you guys.
I think we got the link for Bitcoin conference in our description. And if you guys want to get into the Discord, if you want to learn how to trade, so you can make money no matter if it's going up or down. I made a great move shorting the market as people, were watching the cascading price down after this fake pump from an altcoin. I made 100% on my trading bag. You can make money in a bear market. You can make money in a bull market. You just have to do it wise. We've got a great community. You can join the Discord, use a link for ZoomX or 2bit or Blowfin. It's free to get in. And Crank, are you going live later tonight if you end up getting in a trade?
Yeah. I will end up going later tonight, guys. I'll do a late night scalping show, maybe. Maybe we'll do a late night scalping show, man. But yeah, like I said, I got smoked the last 2 nights, dude, during our scalping shows. The USDT dominance is just rocking me, dude. So yeah, I'm looking, and I knew I should have taken this short, but we're streaming right now, dude. So I'm just gonna relax. I mean, it's been a good month so far. It's been a good month.
It hasn't given up much ground while we've been yapping here.
It's rolling over like I was talking about. I mean, it's just it's playing up in here, man. It's playing up in here. So I want to, if this thing rolls over, dominance is doing the same thing. So that we were talking about, this thing's probably going to pop back up and Biddy's going to come on down. So I was just watching this right up in here, man, watching all of this. So, but yeah, guys, make sure everybody get inside of the Discord. Follow me over on YouTube and X. This is the time to be a little vigilante with your education, man, and put your money where your mouth is, because this is how you separate you guys wanted it. It's right in front of you.
Yeah. That is crazy. People love Bitcoin at 120K. You got to be over the moon. That we're over half price now. So
Dude, it's amazing. It's amazing to see that. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's amazing to see that, man. So, but yeah, what do you guys got planned for today? You doing another video?
I think, I'm going to do my crash out tomorrow because, a Friday crash out from me feels healthy. So, going to be crashing out. And tomorrow I'll explain Cypress. For everyone watching this, you can watch my Cypress explanation on Blockchain Basement tomorrow after the show. I can't do it on this channel. Don't want us to get, knocked out of the algorithm. We're actually getting millions of views a month right now, even in a bear market, which feels good. So I don't want to screw that up. And I really appreciate your guys' support. Smash the like, subscribe, share the show out. We're just trying to give you levels and honesty from us so that we can make the best decisions for ourselves. Of course, we're not financial advisors. We are publicly trading the most volatile asset class on the planet on live television or cell phone, death rectangle, whatever you're looking at us on. So make sure to follow Crank. Make sure to keep up with all the news, and we will see you on the next episode. Make sure to keep your crypto on a cold storage, for God's sakes. Buy spot, put it on cold storage, and let it chill. See you soon.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.